Okay, so what is the architecture of the 8051, and what are the Okay, so what are the what different register in 8051? What is the internal RAM organization, and what is the pin diagram of the 8051? So how to interface external RAM to the 8051? So all those things we have seen in the last class. Okay, so last module. Okay, so going to the next module, I'll start with the module 2. Okay, so in module 2, we are going to see about 8051 instruction set. Okay, so 8051 is basically a assembly language programming program. Okay, so where we'll use the mnemonics or the instruction to write the program. The program is written using the mnemonics or the instructions. Okay, so this assembly level language programming is called as the low level language programming. Okay, so we use the assembler. The assembler converts the mnemonics into the machine language program that consists of zeros and ones. Okay, so this assembly language program is called as the source code, and the machine language program that once it is assembled, what is the program that we are going to get, it is called as the object code. Okay, so usually basically when the programming has started, okay, so people used to write the program in the machine language using zeros and ones. Okay, so using zeros and ones, the people used to write the program. But that writing the program using zeros and ones, it is a tedious one, because I need to, for add one pattern I need to remember, for subtract one pattern I need to remember. So it is very difficult to write the program using the zeros and ones. So because it is tedious, it is slow, and also more prone to error. People will not remember the pattern using zeros. For add, you should remember some bit pattern. For subtract, you should remember some bit pattern. That made the programming job difficult. Okay, so the next era is nothing but it is the assembly language programming. So where we use the mnemonics. Okay, so the mnemonics are used, which are nothing but the simple instructions. Okay, so the program consists of these series of these mnemonics. Okay, so for addition we'll use the add, subtraction we'll use sub, for multiplication we use mur. So like these mnemonics are used, using those mnemonics we are going to write the program. Okay, so in 8051, so all the program is written using the assembly language programming technique. Okay, so where we are using the instructions or the mnemonics. Okay, so this mnemonics, so mnemonics usually consist of an opcode. Okay, followed by one or two operands. Okay, so mnemonic usually consists of opcode followed by one or two operand. Okay, so in the assembly language programming we are having two types of statements. One is the assembly language instruction. Okay, so the assembly language instruction, it tells the computer or the CPU what to do. Okay, so assembly language instructions, like we are having a add, we are having subtract, we are having mul, we are having div, we are having inc for increment, so daa decimal adjust accumulator. Like this, any operation I want to carry, so the operation is carried, or the operation is instructed to the computer using the instruction. Okay, so yes, addition to that is 8051 is having some more statements. They are called as the directives. So directives are the pseudo instructions. They are not the actual instruction. These instructions are not converted into the machine level language program whenever I assemble the program. So the directives are the pseudo instructions. Pseudo instructions, nothing but they just give the direction to the assembler. These statements are not going to be converted into the machine level language whenever we assemble the program. Okay, so they are just the directives to the assembler. Okay, so they just give the directions to the assembler. So assembly language programming consists of two types of statement. One is the instruction it consists of, and another is nothing but the directive. So we are having the directive like define byte. So we are having the equate directive, EQU. Okay, so this we are having the origin directive. Okay, so we are having the end directive. So the different directives are there, which are supported in 8051. So in detail we'll see what are the different directive and what is the purpose of each directive in the next forthcoming classes. Okay, so whenever we say assembly language programming, as I said you, so it consists of a mnemonic. So mnemonic indicates the operations to be performed. Okay, so it followed by it consists of the operand. Okay, so the operand, it may be a zero operand or one operand or the two operand. Okay, so operand, in some cases operand is not present, in some cases operand only one operand is present, in some cases two operands are present. Okay, so whatever given in the square bracket, all those indicates they are the optional one. Okay, so mnemonic should be present. Mnemonic is the opcode should be present. So it is followed with the operands. Operands may be one operand, two operand, or the zero operand. Okay, so each instruction may be having the label. So label, again, it is the optional one. So if you are having some jump statement, jump to up or jump to down, something like that you are giving, the label need to be specified. Okay, so each instruction may consist of the label. It is again optional. So if you require any label to be given, then you can add the label. Okay, so and again in 8051, so if you want to add the comment line, the comment line always starts with the semicolon. Okay, so the comment line indicates what is the purpose of the code. Okay, so the comment line indicates what is the purpose of the code. Okay, so here we have taken one example, move destination comma source. Okay, so always, so you don't get confused with the CO for always first operand used to be source and the second operand used to be the destination. But here, so in 8051, the first operand is always destination, the second operand is the source. So move destination comma source is nothing but the content of the source is copied to the destination. Okay, so move destination comma source is nothing but the content of the source is copied to the destination. Okay, so we are having a semicolon. Whatever followed by the semicolon is taken as the comment statement, just to indicate what is the purpose of the code. So the comment lines are used. Okay, to make the program readable, the comment lines are used. Okay, so what is the purpose of this code is nothing but it copies the source to the destination. So that is indicated with the comment statement. Okay. Okay, so this is about the assembly language programming. Assembly language programming, so it uses the instructions or the mnemonics. Okay, so using these instructions, we are instructing the CPU to perform the given task. Okay, so always the format of the instruction is nothing but I am having a label which is optional one. Okay, followed with a colon. Then I'm having the mnemonic. Mnemonic should be present, followed with the operands based on your instruction. I may have a one operand or the zero operand or the two operand. Okay, so followed with the comment. Whenever I'm adding the comment should be added after, or the comment should be preceded with the semicolon. Okay, so this is the format of writing the instruction. Okay, so going for, before going which are the instructions supported by the 8051, we'll see what are the addressing modes the 8051 supports. Okay, so what is meant by an addressing mode? What is meant by addressing mode? What is meant by addressing mode? Neela. Yes, Neela, you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, what is an addressing mode?
Set of instructions.
No, addressing mode is not a set of instructions. What actually the addressing mode indicates? Okay, so by using the instructions or in the instruction, So we are in the instruction we are specifying the data. Okay, so whenever we are specifying the data can be in a register, the data can be in the memory location, or the data can be specified directly in the instruction. Okay, so the this addressing modes, so they are nothing but they are the various ways of accessing the data. So it is called as the addressing mode. Okay, so the CPU can access the data in various ways. So with the data can be in a register, the data can be in a memory location, or the data can be specified directly in the instruction. It may be a immediate. Okay, so the various ways of specifying the data in the instruction, or the various ways of accessing the data in the instruction, is called as the addressing mode. So how I am accessing the data? So it's nothing but it is specified by the addressing mode. Okay, so the various ways of accessing the data in the instruction are called as the addressing mode. Okay, so 8051 support 5 different addressing mode. So immediate addressing mode, register addressing mode, direct addressing mode, register indirect addressing mode, and indexed addressing mode. Okay, immediate addressing mode, register addressing mode, direct addressing mode, register indirect addressing mode, and indexed addressing mode. Okay, so the data can be present in the register, the data can be specified immediately or directly in the instruction, the data can be present in the RAM memory location. So where the data is, okay, so the different ways of accessing the data, so in the instructions is nothing but it is we call it as the addressing mode. So okay, so here the last three modes, that is the direct mode, register indirect mode, and indexed addressing mode, they access the memory. Okay, so the last three addressing modes, direct addressing mode, register indirect addressing mode, and the indexed addressing mode, they access the memory. So these two, so they will not access the memory. Okay, so this thing addressing modes you need to understand properly. Okay, so because each instruction can be written using different addressing mode. Yeah, 5 different addressing modes now I can write the instruction. Once I know the instruction, add instruction, I can write using the immediate, I can write using the register addressing, I can write using the direct addressing, I can write using the register indirect addressing, and also using the indexed addressing mode. So you need to understand the addressing mode properly. Okay, so first one is immediate addressing mode. Okay, so in the immediate addressing mode, the source operand, so the source is a constant. Okay, so for all these instruction, whatever the example we are giving for the addressing modes, I'll use the instruction move. So because since you don't know the complete instruction set, I'll just take a simple instruction, that is the move instruction, which is the copy instruction. The format is move always the destination followed with the source. Okay, so first operand is a destination, the next operand is a source. So here this instruction, it copies the contents of the source to the destination. Okay, so the same move instruction, it is used to explain all the addressing modes. Okay, so in the immediate addressing mode, the source operand is a constant. Okay, so it is a constant. Whatever data is there, the data is immediately specified in the instruction. So whenever I'm specifying the data immediately, I'm using the hash symbol or the pound sign. Okay, so the hash symbol or the pound sign is used to specify the data. The data is preceded by the pound sign or the hash sign. Okay, so here I'm having one of the example as move a comma hash 25h. Okay, so h indicates the hexadecimal value. Okay, so in this case the value, the 25 is loaded into the register A. So you know that in the 8051 you are having the register A, you are having the register B, you are having the program counter register, you are having the DPTR register. DPTR register, 16-bit DPTR register can be accessed as two 8-bit register, DPL and DPH. Okay, and also you are having the registers like R0 to R7 registers from the register bank, R0 to R7. Even them you can, even those registers you can access by their names. Okay, so move a comma hash 25 is nothing but 25 is loaded into the register A. So move R4 comma 62. So here I am not given the H value. Okay, so 62 is a decimal 62 is I am giving. Okay, this decimal 62, so is loaded into the register R4. Okay, so decimal 62 means the 62 in decimal is converted to the hexadecimal, and that hexadecimal value is loaded into the register R4. Okay, so whenever I'm specifying the decimal data, I need not give the H, just remove the H, it is considered to be the decimal data. But whenever it is stored using the hexadecimal format only. Okay, so the 62 in decimal is converted to the hexadecimal, and then it is copied to the register R4. Okay, so 40 the in hexadecimal is loaded into the register B. Okay, so DPTR register, you know, it's a 16-bit register, so because of which I'm trying to load the 16-bit data. So 4521 hexadecimal data is loaded into the DPTR register. Okay, so immediate addressing mode, the data is specified directly in the instruction. Whenever I'm specifying the data, it is preceded with the hash symbol. Okay, so this is the case. So if I'm having like this, move hash 40 comma A. Okay, so always this is the destination and this is the source. So now I'm trying to copy the content of register A into the data. This is not possible. Okay, it gives the error. It is not possible. It gives me the error. Okay, so the always register may be followed with the immediate data. I should not have like this. Okay, so I'm trying to copy the content of register to a particular value. So while data is not anything like a register or anything, so this is not a valid instance. In immediate addressing mode, immediate addressing model ಏನಾರ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆನಾ? Immediate addressing model ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, register ಇರ್ತದೆ followed with hash symbol I'll use, register or the memory location, whatever it is. Whenever I'm using the immediate addressing mode, the value should be preceded with the hash. So it means that I'm copying the particular value to the register. So in the move instruction. Any doubt is there? Please do respond, students. Shravani, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Did you follow? Addressing mode ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕಂಡಿಡಿಯಬಹುದು ಅಂತ? Okay, so here, okay, so DPTR register, I've told you DPTR register is nothing but it is a 16-bit register. You can access him at you can make it as move DPTR comma hash 2550. So it's nothing but, so this is DPTR register is having two register. One is DPH, data pointer high byte, and data pointer low byte. Okay, so whatever the low byte is there, it goes to the low byte of a DPL register. Whatever high byte is there, it is goes to the DPH register. Okay, so move DPTR comma hash 2550 is same as writing move DPL comma hash 50 or move DPH comma hash 25. Okay, so I can write this or I can write this, both means the same. Okay, so here DPTR is a 16-bit register. Okay, so since it's a 16-bit register, I can load the value starting from 000 to FFFF. Okay, so I can load from 000 to FFFF. So trying to loading the data more than these things, so results in the error. Okay, so here I am trying to load the value 68975. Okay, so this is illegal or it results in the error because so FFFF in decimal is nothing but it is going to be equal to 65535 in the so FFFF in hexadecimal, it's equal to 65535 in the decimal. If at all my value is greater than this, so then it cannot be loaded into the DPTR register. Okay, so if the value is greater than that, then it cannot be loaded into the DPTR register because DPTR is a 16-bit register. Using 16-bit register, I can load from 0 to FFFF in hexadecimal, or in the decimal, I can load from 0 to 65535. If I'm trying to load the value greater than that, then it gives me a erroneous result, or the statement will be erroneous. Okay, so that is the immediate addressing mode. Okay, so going for the next is nothing but register addressing mode. So in the register addressing mode, Okay, so in the register addressing mode, the registers use or registers are used to hold the data. Okay, so here we are using the register to hold the data so that the data can be manipulated. Okay, so the data is in the register. We are using the register name. So in the instructions, okay, so registers are used to hold the data to be manipulated. That is the thing about the register addressing mode. Okay, so here I'm having move a comma or not. Always this is the destination and this is the source. So it's nothing but the content of register R naught is copied to the register A, and here the content of register A is copied to the R naught. The add A comma R5 is nothing but the content of register A is added with the register R5, and it is stored.
Ma'am, your microphone is muted, ma'am.
Okay, so here. Okay, so add A comma R7 is nothing but the content of register A is added with the content of register R7 and it is stored in the register A. Okay, so move R6 comma A is nothing but the contents of register A is copied to the register R6. Okay, so this is nothing but where we are just using the register to hold the data is called as the register addressing mode. Okay, so one of the things that you should keep in mind is the source and the destination register must match in the size. Okay, I cannot say move DPTR comma A because DPTR is a 16-bit register, A is a 8-bit register. In that case, it will give me the error. Okay, so both the source and the destination must be of the same size. Okay, so here we are doing, this is the immediate addressing mode. So we are making move dptr comma hash 25f5. So is nothing but 25 is moved to the dph register, f5 is moved to the dpl register. So later this is the register addressing mode. I'm copying the content of dpl to r7. I'm copying the content of dph to r6. So this is a valid one. Okay, so here whenever I'm copying the content of one register to another register involving the registers of the register bank. Okay, so if A with between the register bank registers and the A, the movement of the data or copying of the data is valid. But if I'm trying to copy the register bank register, so both source and the destination are from the register bank register, in that case it gives me the error. I cannot copy the content of register R7 to the register R4, then it will say, it will give me the error. Okay, it is invalid. So I can copy like this. So move A comma R7. Okay, so content of R7 is copied to A. Then I can say move A comma R4. The content of A register is copied to R4. So these statements are valid, but if this is invalid, so source and destination, both of them cannot be the register from the register banks. Okay, so that is about register addressing mode. Any doubt is there? The data in immediate addressing mode, the data is directly specified in the instruction. So the data is preceded by the hash symbol. So register addressing mode, the data is there in the registers. Okay, so next is the direct addressing mode. So in the direct addressing mode, the data is in this the direct addressing mode, the data is in the RAM memory location. Okay, so the data is there in the RAM memory location. So the address of that RAM memory location I'll be knowing, and that address is given as part of the instruction. Okay, so here the data is present in the RAM memory location, the address of the memory location is known to me, that address is specified in the instruction. That is called as the direct addressing addressing mode. The address of the memory location is directly specified in the instruction is called as the direct addressing mode. Okay, so in 8051 you are having 128 bytes of RAM from 00 to 7F, and you are having the SFRs, so special function register, from 80 to FF. So all the locations are not corresponds to the special function registers. Only few locations are used as the special function register. So all the 128 bytes of RAM and the special function register can be accessed using the direct addressing mode. Okay, so all the 128 bytes of the RAM location and the SFRs can be accessed using the direct addressing mode. So direct addressing mode, I am specifying the address of the memory location directly in the instruction. Okay, so for example, if I take this instruction move R0, 40H, what it says is nothing but copy the content of the memory location 40 to the register R0. So for example, so your RAM memory location 40. Okay, so your RAM memory location having the address 40, if it is having the data equal to 10, okay, so that 10 is copied into the register R0. Okay, so that 10 is copied into the register R0. So move R0, 40H is nothing but, so if I am having the hash symbol, then it would be the immediate addressing mode, but I don't have the hash symbol, is nothing but it is the direct addressing mode. Address of the memory location is specified in the instruction. So this instruction, what it does is nothing but it copies the content of the memory location 40, okay, so into the register R0. So for example, if I take the memory location 40 contains the 10, then that 10 is copied to the register R0. Okay, so move 56H, A is nothing but the content of the register A is copied to the 56 memory location. Okay, so 56th memory location, so it may have some initial value, so 56 memory location, so 56 in hexadecimal. Okay, so the content of register A, if your register A is having the data, it's an 8-bit register. If your register A is having the data 23, that 23 is copied to the 56th memory location. Copy the content of register A to the memory RAM memory location 56. So this says that move 70H, hash 23. So 70H, it is the direct addressing mode. It refers to the RAM memory location. So hash 23 is nothing but it is the immediate data. So what this instruction does is nothing but it loads the value 23 into the memory location 70H. Okay, it loads the value 23 into the memory location 70H. So in the memory location 70H, the value 23 gets loaded. So 70H in the memory location 70H, the value 23 gets loaded. Okay, so 70 in hexadecimal. Got it? So last I'm having move 73 in hex, 43 in hex. So it is, this is again I'm having one address, this is again I'm having another address. So this is the destination and this is the source. So this is the move instruction which copies the content of the memory location 43 to the memory location 73. Direct memory to memory transfer. So the internal RAM direct transfer is possible. I can copy the content of one memory location to the content of another memory location. So for example, if you are having in the memory location 43, if you are having some data as 98, okay, so that data is copied to the memory location 73. So that data data of the memory location 43, so E is copied to the memory location 73. Okay, so E is copied to the memory location 73. So if 43 location is having 98, that 98 is copied over here. Okay, direct memory to memory copy is possible. Okay, so you have seen the register addressing mode. Direct register to register transfer is not possible, but direct memory to memory transfer is possible. Okay, so if we see, okay, any doubt is there? Direct addressing mode, ಏನಾರ doubt ಇದೆನಾ?
No, ma'am.
You got it? If I'm having the hash symbol, it is said to be the immediate. If I don't have the hash symbol, whatever the number it refers to the RAM memory location. Okay, so it refers to the RAM memory location. So this is nothing but the content of the memory location 40 is copied to the R0. The content of register A is copied to the memory location 56H. Okay, the immediate data is nothing but the 23 is loaded into the memory location 70H. The content of the memory location 43 is copied to the memory location 73H. So like this, by directly specifying the instruction, I can copy the content of one memory location to another memory location. Any doubt is there?
No, ma'am.
So 128 bytes of RAM is nothing but you can access from 00 to 0. ನಿಮಗೆ 0 to 7F ತನಕ ನಿಮಗೆ what 128 bytes of RAM ಇರ್ತದೆ. So initially from 00 to 07 is bank 0, 08 to 0F is bank 1, 10 to 17 is bank 2, and 18 to 1F is bank 3. So already you know that. And 20 to 2F, so 20 to 2F is bit address area. 30 to 7F, so it can be accessed using direct addressing. Okay, so use 3 purpose memory area, you can directly access using the name. Okay, so and also, so all the registers, so you are having in bank 0, the registers can be like R0, R1, R2 like this. So R0 corresponds to the memory location 0, R1 corresponds to the memory location 1. So because of which, okay, so here, so I can write it as, instead of writing move A comma R4, move A comma R4 is nothing but it copies the content of register R4 to A. Okay, so instead of specifying the register R4, so in the register banks, you know, register banks are within the RAM area. So initially you are having bank 0, bank 1, bank 2, bank 3. Later you are having the 16 bytes of bit addressable area. Okay, so this R0 of the register bank 0 is nothing but it is having the address equal to 00. R1 is having the address equal to 01. Okay, so if I refer to the memory location 0 or R0, I am referring to the same thing. Okay, so if I say 1 or R1, so I am referring to the same. I can say it as a register R1 or I can say it as a memory location 01. Okay, so this, if I write like this, move A comma R4, this is the register addressing mode. Instead of it, if I write move A comma 4, what is the 4? 4 is nothing but it is the memory location 4. Okay, so memory location 4 corresponds to register R4 only. I can access the bank register by their names or by their addresses also I can access. Okay, move A comma 4 is same as move A comma R4. Okay, so this R4 is nothing but it is having an address of 4. So move A comma 7 is nothing but move A comma R7. The register content of register R7 is moved or copied to the register A, or the content of the memory location 7. Memory location 7 is nothing but it is the R7 only. So the content of the register memory location 7 is copied to the A. So both means the same. Okay, so any register I can access by their names or I can access by their addresses. So here the register I am accessing by the name, but here I am accessing it by the address. Got it? So even A register, B register, each register is having one address. Okay, all the special function register are mapped in the area from 80 to AFFF. So in that area, so each special function register is having one address. Using that address also I can access the registers. Any doubt is there? ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮೋಡ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, ಸೊ ಯೂಶಲಿ ವಿಚ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಯು ಆರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್, ಸೊ ಯು ಆರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಏರಿಯಾ ಫ್ರಮ್, ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ 00 to 1F it is dedicated for the register bank. Okay, so from 20 to 2F, so it is dedicated for bit addressable area. Okay, so it is dedicated for bit addressable area. So above those memory location is nothing but you are having the general purpose memory area. So those registers you can use. Okay, it is not always mandatory. Mandatory and illa. You can use any register from 00 to 7F. All the direct address can be specified in the instruction. So like this, as I said, you instead of R4 you can say it as 4, instead of R7 you can say it as the 7. Okay, so all the memory location, all the bytes of the internal RAM area from 00 to 7F can be accessed using the direct addressing mode. Okay. Okay, so this is some more examples they have taken. Okay, so move a comma 2 is nothing but it's same as move a comma r2. Move a comma 0 is same as move a comma r0. Okay, so whenever I don't have hash sign is nothing but it is the direct addressing mode. If you are having the hash symbol, that is the immediate addressing mode. The corresponding value is copied or the loaded or whatever. So the value is directly specified in the instruction. Any doubt is there? Okay, so going to the special function registers, as I said you, so from 80 to FF, it is dedicated for the special function register. Not all the addresses are used for the special function register. Okay, so the unused location, they are reserved and they should not be used by the 8051 programmer. They should not allowed to access the memory location, which is not a special function register. Okay, so as I said you, so each special function register can be accessed by its name or can be accessed by its address. Okay, so here I am having move a comma hash 55. So what it says, so the value 55 is loaded into the register A. Okay, so the value 55 is loaded into the register A. This is, so instead of writing like this, if I write move 0E0 hex comma hash 55. So 0 is nothing but it is the address of register A. So I can write the name of the register or I can write the address of the register. Okay, so here register is there and immediate value is there, but here memory location is there and immediate value is there. So all the registers are nothing but they are part of the internal RAM area. Okay, so all the registers are part of the internal RAM area. May I, if I refer to them by their name or the memory location, it refers to the memory location only. Okay, so I can access by their address or I can access by their name. It is both means the same. Okay, so move a comma hash 55 is nothing but the register A is loaded with the 55. Register A is nothing but it is the memory location whose address is E0. So in the E0 memory location, so the 55 gets loaded. Got it? Okay, so the B register is having the address F0. So if I say move B comma hash 25 is nothing but 25 is loaded into the B register. Where the B register is mapped is nothing but B register is having the value F0. So in the F0 memory location, the 25 value gets stored. Okay, so move F0 comma hash 25 is similar to saying move B comma hash 25. Okay, so this is the different ways. So they have given, like instead of writing the register name, you can just give the addresses and write the instruction. Oh, move P1 comma A is nothing but the content of register A is copied to the P1. Okay, so the content of register A is copied to the P1. Okay, so instead of that, if I write move 90H comma A is nothing but same thing. So the content of register A is copied to the memory location 90, which is nothing but the address of the port 1. Okay, so both means the same. Okay, so some of the special function registers and their addresses are specified. Already this we have seen earlier. So, but one time to look into it. So, what are the different special function registers are there and what are the addresses of it? We'll just see it. Okay, so accumulator is having the address E0, B register is having the address F0, PSW register is having the address D0, stack pointer is having the address 81. Okay, so DPTR, so DPL register is having the address 82 and DPH is having the address of 83. 40 is having the address of 80, port 1 90, port 2 A0, port 3 B0. So interrupt priority control register is having B8 and interrupt enable register is having A8. Okay, so TMOD register 89, TCON register 88. Okay, so this THO. So for this, you don't use these registers in T2 mode. All these are not present. THO. Okay, so this timer 0 high byte register 8C. So timer 0 low byte register 8A. Timer 1 high byte register 8D. Timer 1 low byte register is 8B. Okay, so these things are not used. So S buffer is used, is having the address 99. Yes control is used, it's having the address 98. PCON register is used, which is having address of 87. Okay, so these things we have seen earlier. Okay, so what are the different special function registers are there, and what are the addresses of it? So all these registers can be accessed by their names or can be accessed by their addresses. Okay, got it? Any doubt is there? Any doubt is there?
No, ma'am.